So today I get to work on our electric hot water heater that is in our cabin tiny home out at our property. So this is a 20-gallon, I'll get a little closer. It's a 20-gallon electric hot water heater. It has one heating element in it. So a lot of electric water heaters, especially bigger ones, will have two, and they'll probably even have a higher wattage element that's in there. But this one is a small 20-gallon, as you can see, 19.9 gallons. So it has one element in it that's 2,000 watts. So what I'm going to be doing is replacing this. So now this is what I did to test it. We turned the hot water on. We know the breaker's on. We're not getting any hot water in the cabin. So we're like, okay, why? So you trace it back. The water's flowing, of course. You come in, at your own risk. And to find out if you're getting any hot water, there is this switch down here on this hot water heater. And again, electric hot water heaters are going to be different, but they're going to be the same. They're going to have some way to set the temperature. This one I can do 90 degrees, 125 degrees, or 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's just got this little switch here. You put a screwdriver and you turn it the direction you want to go. So how I tested it is I turned that up all the way and we still weren't getting hot water. So I went and got my multimeter and I started just making sure we were getting electricity here. So I came in and I checked that the neutral and the 120 volts coming in. Here's the line coming into our hot water heater. There is a little panel that you have to take off. This is the panel with the insulation. So I took that off, went in here, and the line in is here because this black thing is your controller that controls, the temperatures and when this turns on and off. So I was getting 120 here, and then I was also getting 120 here with the settings turned on. And then I was checking, this is the heating element that's here that actually heats the water. I was getting 120 here. So that means I'm getting power, the switch is working, it's putting power all the way to where it needs to go, but apparently this heating element's not getting hot. So my first step on this one is, okay, I guess we need to put a new heating element. And that can happen. I know it's a very new, this is a 2021 hot water heater, but it doesn't get used very much and it could have been sitting forever. Who knows how it was, when they had it on the lot for sale. So, anyways, it could be most likely a bad element based upon the fact that power is getting all the way to the element and we're not getting hot water. So that was my troubleshooting on this. There's these little things, there's things you got to take off to get to this point, but I've already got them taken off because I've already done the troubleshooting and I think that's what the problem is. So what I did is I bought this replacement element. It's a 2,000 watt heating element. This one actually says it was an OEM replacement, and it's basically just a copper rod that goes in and gets hot. Now to do this, you have to have a special tool, or you're going to be just going crazy with a pair of pliers trying to get that out of there. As you can see here, once you take these hot power, the neutral and the hot off. Now I've got my breaker turned off, just by the way. You have to have the breaker on with the multimeter to test it and find out where the electricity's going. But once you kind of figure out what you're doing and what you think the problem is, definitely kill that breaker. Do not work inside of this thing with the breaker on. So I've got the breaker off, and I'm even gonna, before I start messing with these wires again, I'm even touch it with the multimeter, make sure I get no power. But this is what's gonna come out and get replaced. This is the tool that I bought to do that. It's a specialty tool that has different sizes, but this lets you, once you get the wires off of that, you can slide this thing right on. You put a screwdriver in the holes and then just untwist it. So it's as simple as that. You put the new one in, twist it back in. So we're gonna do that now. So I've got the old element out, and as you can see here, it's definitely got a lot of corrosion and everything on it, but I mean, come on, look at that. It just split right there. This is only a 2-year-old hot water heater. This element should not have disintegrated this quickly. Even with hard calcium, this shouldn't have done it. So that's definitely the problem. Electricity's not gonna flow when it has a break in it like that, so it's not gonna heat up. So now I'm gonna put the new one in. So now that I have that nasty element that's busted out, I did actually get a flashlight and kind of inspect the inside. Of course, you're gonna get some calcium in there, some buildup, but it really doesn't look that bad. I was very surprised on how bad that element looks when there's not that much buildup in the actual hot water heater. So very strange. But anyways, now I'm putting the new one in, and all you do is you got to make sure that, now there's a little gasket here. You got to make sure you got this gasket on here, because if not, it's going to leak, and that's not good. So they'll come with this little rubber gasket piece here, and then you just, put it over the threads. Mine wasn't already seated. That's mainly why I'm pointing this out. Mine was just loose in the package. So seat it over the threads. There's not a gasket out here. You don't need a gasket out here. Don't put it out here. Put it here on the threads. Then you just line that thing up and screw it in. So I'm going to do that now. All right, so I've got the new element in. Now, this element didn't have anywhere in the instructions that are positive and negative because they're basically joining together. You're doing positive and negative together to heat that element up. If your instructions on your heating element tell you a defined positive and defined negative or neutral, make sure you do it that way. But I'm just going to hook up, this is going to be the positive and this is going to be the neutral because there's no, markings or instructions to do otherwise. So I'm going to test all the water now. I did put in also this because there wasn't a drain valve on this thing, and I wanted to add a drain valve and put a T and everything in it. So I'm fixing to turn the water on to make sure this doesn't leak and make sure none of this leaks. If there's no leaks anywhere on this, then I'm going to put the wiring all back together and I'm going to heat it up. All right, so I've got the plastic piece put back on because I did turn on the 120 volt power. I got the element in there nice and tight, not leaking, seems to be doing really well. So I did, like I said, put this protector back on because you have the positive and negative right here. When the power's on, you don't want to get shocked. So I have that on, and you probably can't hear it in the video, but I can hear the water sizzling inside of there from the heating element turned on. So it's definitely heating up the water, doing what it needs to do, and that was the fix. All right, and I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to get this cover put back on and the insulation and everything pushed back in there, but that is basically how you switch out the element on a electric hot water heater. So I hope this was helpful, and if you like videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. The best way to say thanks is to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it if you know anyone who needs help with any of these, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.